people think the dark web is chaos, random sites, broken pages, people hiding behind fake names. But that isn't what surprised me. What surprised me was how organized it was. There are categories, listings, reviews, rules, entire marketplaces built around offering services that don't exist anywhere else. Some of them are obvious scams. Some of them never respond. But every once in a while, a service answers back. Tonight, these are 4 dark web services that people claimed were real. Not because of what they promised, but because of what happened after they were used. The service didn't explain itself. The page was plain, no images, no branding. Just a sentence at the top. Describe your problem, we will handle the rest. Below it was a payment address, one flat fee, no refunds, no examples, no guarantees. A user on a dark web forum claimed they found it while browsing unrelated listings. At first they ignored it, but weeks later they came back. They wrote that at the time they were dealing with a situation they couldn't fix. Not something illegal, not something violent, just a problem that wouldn't go away. They described it vaguely in the form. No names, no details. Just enough for someone to understand. They paid the fee. Nothing happened. No confirmation email, no follow-up message. For 3 days, life continued normally. Then on the 4th day, the problem stopped. Completely, no warning, no explanation. At first, they felt relieved until they realized something else was missing. Something they hadn't mentioned. Something connected, but not part of the request. A person they hadn't seen in years stopped answering messages. Not blocked, not offline, just gone. They checked mutual contacts. No one had heard from them. Days passed, then weeks. The user went back to the service page. The text had changed. It now read, "Problem resolved. Further adjustments unavailable." The payment address was gone. The page never loaded again. This service was more detailed. Too detailed. It claimed to remove specific memories. Not by editing the brain, not by chemicals, just detachment. The description said the memory wouldn't disappear, but the emotional weight would. Fear, guilt, anxiety, gone. A user decided to test it. They chose something small, a minor embarrassment from childhood. They described the memory clearly and paid. They didn't expect anything to happen. But the next day, someone mentioned the event casually. The user understood the words, but felt nothing. No discomfort, no recognition. It was like hearing a story about someone else. Encouraged, they submitted another memory, then another. Each time the same result. Memories stayed. Feelings vanished. Weeks later, the user posted again, this time confused. They noticed they weren't reacting normally to things. Jokes didn't land. Arguments didn't hurt. Even joy felt distant. They tried to stop. But the service sent them a message first. You have remaining emotional residue. They hadn't requested follow-ups. The message included a memory they never submitted, a deeply personal one. The user panicked and asked how the service knew about it. The reply was instant. You are easier to read without resistance. The forum thread ended shortly after. The user never posted again. The service page still exists, but no longer mentions memory removal. Now it simply says, Rena, we help you feel less. Help. This one looked legitimate. Professional layout, clear pricing tiers. It offered background checks on anyone, not just criminal history, habits, routines, patterns. The user thought it was exaggerated, so they searched themselves. They used a fake name variation, an old email, and they paid the lowest tier. The report arrived within an hour. At first it was basic, past addresses, online usernames they recognized. Then it became uncomfortable. It listed daily routines, times they left home, places they frequented, all accurate. At the end was a section labeled projected behavior. It described where they would be the next evening. The user laughed it off. Until the next evening came, they realized they were exactly where the report said they'd be. They checked the page again. The report had updated. A new line had been added. Subject is reviewing this report. Moments later, another line appeared. Awareness confirmed. The page refreshed. The report was gone, replaced by a message. Self-referential searches are discouraged. The service has since removed the option to search yourself. This one claimed to help people reconnect. Lost friends, estranged family. It specifically stated it wasn't for tracking or surveillance, just reconnection. A user submitted the name of someone they hadn't spoken to in over a decade. No last name, no photos, just a first name and a vague description. The response came faster than expected. It included coordinates, not an address, a location pin. The user assumed it was a guess, but when they checked the map, it was accurate. The location updated every few minutes, always moving. The user refreshed the page repeatedly. Each time the pin was closer. They stopped refreshing. Minutes later, a message appeared on the service page. Do you still wish to reconnect? The user closed the browser. They didn't check the location again. But that night, they received a message on a platform they hadn't used in years, from the person they searched for. It said only one thing: you shouldn't have looked. The service page no longer exists. Most dark web services don't work. That's what makes the ones that do so unsettling. Because they don't fail loudly, they succeed quietly. And by the time you realize what they actually do, it's already too late to undo it. If these stories were fake, they were convincing. If they were real, then some services aren't offering help. They're offering solutions. And solutions don't always care what they take with them.